this video, I'm going to talk about something that I have never talked about with anyone before, and that is my eating disorder. I have had eating disorders of different kinds for a few years. I remember the first time I really struggled with how much food I should be eating or how little food I wanted to eat in order to look the way that I wanted to look, which is such a huge issue in our culture, so that is why I'm talking about it right now. The main three that I have struggled with are, in this order, anorexia, binge eating disorder, and orthorexia. So in this video, I'm really only going to talk about orthorexia. So orthorexia is an obsession with eating only foods that are pure, such as healthy, organic, unprocessed, and then you experience anxiety, guilt, shame, depression when taking in food sources that do not meet these standards. So it's putting this enormous expectation on yourself to only eat and drink things that are going to benefit you or that are primarily good for you and your body as an organism. And so when you eat something like chocolate cake that really has no benefits, it just tastes good, then you feel terrible about it because it wasn't benefiting you in any way. And so my experience with orthorexia really began when I became more conscious of what I was eating. I realized that all the junk food I was eating was not good for me. It was harming my body. And then I started eating healthier, better foods, salads, fruits, vegetables, which I never used to eat ever. I just trained myself to start eating them. I made them in ways that was appetizing, and then I just began eating them more. They became part of my regular diet. I realized I was experiencing lots of stress and anxiety around just food and what I was eating, and that's not healthy. If you're eating healthy things, you should feel good. You shouldn't feel irritated or anxious or worried that something bad is going to happen when you're feeding your body healthy things. But this was what I was experiencing, so I researched what was going on and I found this. Orthorexia really stems from, at least in my case and most cases, a lack of self-esteem or self-worth. And that really goes for all eating disorders, that they're usually derived from you perceiving yourself in a certain way that you do not accept. This is a lack of self-love, and so you try to change yourself so that you will love yourself, but in the end it's just this vicious cycle that makes you really not like yourself. And it's oftentimes that you are seeking acceptance outside of yourself, and you're using food as a tool for that. You're using your nutrition and your health as components that will get you where you want to be, but ultimately you're just harming your mind and your body. Just breathe. What causes orthorexia? So a lot of times people won't realize they are orthorexic. They have built these constructs in their mind that make it seem like they're being virtuous in the acts they are doing, such as being vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian, dairy-free, whatever. They are being moral in their actions, and so even if they are suffering, even if they are malnutritious, they think they are doing a good thing, myself included, because of how they are thinking about it, how they are perceiving it. And so it may be a spiritual act, so like your religion or your spiritual practice says that you will only be pure, you will only be righteous if you eat certain things or abstain from certain things. And this isn't only food as well, this can pertain to other items or actions performed. Or if it's moral, like you feel terrible eating animals, so you just totally stop, even if you still really want to eat them. And then there's just this feeling of guilt and shame because you still want something that you're making yourself not have just because you think it's the right thing to do, and really, truly, it's not what you want for yourself. So it's really like a mind-body dynamic going on there. You have to make sure those two things are connected in order for true health to really be present. So some side effects of orthorexia include malnutrition, isolation, and money problems. So malnutrition is obvious. You're not getting the nutrients you need because you're restricting yourself. You won't eat that bread, or you won't eat that pasta, or you won't eat that egg because you feel like you're going to shame yourself if you do it. And so then you feel guilty, so then you don't eat even though you need those nutrients to be healthy. Isolation. You may isolate yourself because you don't know anyone that eats the way that you do. So you really can't go out to restaurants or even family gatherings. You're not experiencing the pleasure of food with people that you love. And this makes you feel isolated even if you are in social interactions or social environments. And then spending lots of money on foods that are supposedly, or actually are, healthier for you. Not getting processed foods, only getting whole plant foods perhaps. And gluten-free bread is really expensive. Just spending money that you don't have when you really shouldn't be spending that much money on food is a problem. So you really can just take all these aspects of your life and turn them into black holes because you're trying to be healthy, but really you are just creating this sufferable life for yourself out of your need to live a certain way. Which brings me to my next point, which is needing to feel in control. This is also something that goes across the spectrum of eating disorders. It's needing to feel like you're in control, like you have the power. And this is just one outlet for you to do that by choosing what you eat, not eating anything other than what you have bought or what you have made. That makes you feel like you're in control of your health. And say if you're around someone smoking a cigarette, you automatically just don't like that person because they are not benefiting your health. So it's like taking it to the extreme where you're orthorexic even to people around you. And so this is how it can become even more isolating and create feelings of disdain or narcissism, or just really becoming a victim to the world around you because you're trying to be in control, and ultimately you just can't be in control of everything. You just gotta let it go. And really, orthorexia, it even sounds like anorexia, but it's another case of anorexia. It's like a little subcategory of anorexia because it's a restrictive diet. You're not allowing yourself to eat certain things because you think something bad will happen if you do eat those things. You may gain weight. You think you might get diseases. I mean, the list goes on. But you're restricting in orthorexia as much as you would in anorexia. So they're the same in that way. Orthorexics might start out with the intentions to lose weight, which makes them want to eat healthier, and then they become obsessed with wanting to keep losing weight or keep eating healthy. They won't let themselves eat anything else aside from health foods because they think they will gain weight again, and they don't want to go back to that state. So now I'm going to offer some solutions to orthorexia. First off, create balance. It is recommended by many dietitians and health food specialists that you eat a ratio of good and bad. So say you eat 80% of good, healthy foods that are only benefiting you, that are only good for your health, and then you eat 20% of foods that you're just eating for fun. And then that creates a balance. Doing this really creates a peace of mind, and it will allow you to not stress out about every little detail being exactly as you need it to be by just using that ratio, just not really worrying about eating something that isn't good for you, especially if you've eaten salads every day for the past 3 days. You're going to be okay. Secondly, practice self-love. Start off by forgiving yourself. Forgive yourself for binging on all that pizza and all that ice cream from the night before, and forgive yourself for still wanting more in the morning, and forgive yourself for not allowing yourself to eat those fries even though you really wanted them. Just forgive yourself for every way you viewed yourself, whether you liked it or not. Forgive yourself for treating yourself the way that you have all this time. If you did not really love yourself, if you didn't accept yourself, if you only seek the acceptance outside of yourself, if you only did certain things that you thought were the right thing to do, just forgive yourself for everything that you have not yet forgiven yourself for. And really say it to yourself. Write it down. Talk to yourself in the mirror. Do whatever you have to do that makes you believe it. Really believe it. Don't just say it as an exercise and think that something's going to happen. You really have to believe it. You have to believe in yourself. You can also practice self-love by loving every aspect of yourself. Don't become something better, such as a vegan when you were a vegetarian. Don't become something that you think is going to be better just because you don't love who you are in that moment as a vegetarian. Become a vegan because you want for yourself, not because you think that you aren't perfect as you are right now. You will just keep on going through those unworthy actions that you have deemed as unlovable until you actually love them. It's easy once you see it. So how do you live a restrictive lifestyle without obsessing? Firstly, accept the perfect imperfections of life, which include yourself. Nothing in life is perfect. Just forgive and accept and let go. Let go of control and misunderstanding, and just allow yourself to be okay. It's okay. Seek out community so you don't miss out on sharing food. This is something that I've noticed I really have an issue with. I don't really know anyone that eats the way that I do. So I spend a lot of time watching YouTube videos of people that do live this lifestyle, and it makes me want to create connections that will allow me to experience those same things, because my family or people I know, they eat meat and dairy and a lot of processed foods, and they go out and eat at places where I can't go out to eat. So then I really don't have anyone to share the love of food with, because I do love food. I love food. So look for community meetups, or just search for people in your area that live a similar lifestyle to you and make friends and go out with them, and it's just that easy. That's what I need to do. If you express gratitude for having access to food, no matter what its quality is, then you will feel so much better. You need food to live. Others do not have abundance or options like you do. You can go to the grocery store. Other people have to wait for airdrops of food to come in before they can eat, lasting maybe 3 or 4 days with no food. Live in gratitude. Say that you are thankful to people, to food. Like, hold a mango and say thank you. There is a bigger picture. There's so much more going on in the world. Once you zoom out of your own perspective and really see everything for what it is, you will realize that this isn't even that big of a deal. Really trust that you will be okay, no matter what you eat. You will be okay. You are okay right now. Everything's okay.